Imagine the sun is dipping below the horizon on a cool evening 30,000 years ago. You've had a successful week, the grain stores are full, or perhaps a massive migration of deer has just passed through the valley. In the modern world, a party means a text blast, a Spotify playlist and some store-bought drinks. But for ancient humans, a party wasn't just a social gathering. It was a sensory explosion, a spiritual necessity, and quite possibly the reason we have civilization at all. So how did our ancestors actually throw down? The answer involves massive stone monuments and the most intense workouts of their lives. Let's start with the venue. For a long time, historians believed humans only built large structures after they invented farming. But then came Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey. It's 11,000 years old, older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids. And it wasn't a city, it was a party destination. Archaeologists found massive stone pillars and, more importantly, huge stone vats that could hold up to 40 gallons of liquid. Chemical analysis found traces of oxalate, a byproduct of brewing grain. These weren't just simple dinners, these were mega feasts. Thousands of people would travel from hundreds of miles away to gather at these sites. They weren't there to work, they were there to celebrate. They would slaughter dozens of wild cattle, roast them over massive pits, and drink fermented grain beverages that would make a modern craft beer look like water. In a world of scarcity, a party was a display of radical abundance. But the vibe of an ancient party wasn't just about the food, it was about the rhythm. If you walked into a Paleolithic rave, the first thing you'd feel is the vibration in your chest. Ancient humans used the natural acoustics of caves like a high-tech sound system. Archaeologists have noticed that the areas of caves with the most rock art also happen to be the areas with the best echoes. They would use lithophones, carefully selected rocks that ring like bells when struck, and drums made of animal hides. They would dance for hours, even days, in a state of collective effervescence. This wasn't just casual swaying, it was rhythmic, synchronized movement that pushed the body to the point of exhaustion. This type of dancing releases a flood of endorphins and dopamine, creating a social high that bonded total strangers into a single, unified tribe. And then there were the party favors. Long before the first vineyard was planted, ancient humans were experts at finding ways to alter their consciousness. From the blue lotus in ancient Egypt to the soma of the Indus Valley and the hallucinogenic cacti used in the Andes, humans have always looked for a way to see the world differently. At a prehistoric party, these substances weren't used for escapism. They were used for connection. They were a way to bridge the gap between the physical world and the spirit world, guided by the flickering shadows of the fire. So why did they do it? Why waste all that energy and food on a single night of excess? Because parties were the original social media. These gatherings were where different groups traded stone tools, shared news about distant lands, and, most importantly, found partners. A party was a biological imperative. It prevented inbreeding and ensured that ideas like the design of a better spearhead or a new way to weave a basket spread across the continent. Eventually we got efficient. We started throwing parties in backyards and bars, and we replaced the 3-day rhythmic trance with a 2-hour dinner. We traded the cave's echo for noise-cancelling headphones. But every time you feel the bass drop at a concert, and you feel that strange electric connection to the 1,000 strangers jumping around you, you're not just having fun. You're tapping into a 100,000-year-old ritual. You're standing in the shadows of Göbekli Tepe, holding a stone cup and celebrating the fact that you are alive. We didn't just build society to survive, we built it so we'd have someone to dance with. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe with the notifications on to watch more.